need to be paid and they have no way to pay them. Oh, what a wonderful time. Because in everything we do on a benevolent level comes from a God who gives to us. We get blessings and we share those blessings. So we look at these opportunities and then we have to, you can't help but hear this and think, how many opportunities have I missed? How many people did I know about? How many times did I hear a particular thing that I actually could have done something and I did nothing? I look at this for myself. And one of the reasons why I strive to help the people that I come in contact with is because I am foolish enough to believe that everybody that comes in contact with me that needs help and I know about it, that wasn't an accident. If I have a connection, and I don't mean I read something in the paper and then I go and seek them, but I mean I actually know Joe Blow works with me and his sister told me that he's in trouble and I have a way to get to him. That's not an accident. God wanted that situation to happen. The question is, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to reach out to help that particular person? Am I going to even look to do anything? Or am I going to say, wow, that's too big for me? And see, that's easy to do. There was a family, it was, I want to say 3 years ago. It was when there was a blizzard on my birthday. You guys remember my birthday, right?
That was yesterday, right?
December 23rd, we had a blizzard.
We did?
We did, about 2-3 years ago, I think. As a matter of fact, interestingly enough, the next day, Linda Lombard and Harry came by my house to see that we were okay and brought me deviled eggs. Should I have told that story? I'm sorry. But they came over to make sure we were okay, and they brought deviled eggs. Is that not nice? They wanted to check on the preacher. It's a good thing. And they didn't even tell me the time. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. Sorry, that slipped out. But anyway, it was Linda's birthday that they came and checked. So, but when that happened, there was a family. There was a family that there was a fire and everything burned out and it made the newspaper. And there were several people who were shoveling snow and had heart attacks. I don't know if you guys remember that. Was that 3 years ago? Mm-hmm. Okay, it was 3 years or something like that. But anyway, I looked at that because in all of those situations, I knew somebody connected and I could have jumped in. I didn't. As I was doing this lesson, I was asking myself, how come I didn't? I don't know. It was probably because I was off and it was cold outside, and it was probably some selfish thing like that, really, to be honest. That's probably what it was. I was happened to be off that week. And maybe it was longer than 3 years, because I think I was working at the register then still. But I was off for a whole week. And they said it was going to be a blizzard. And on December 22nd, before I came home, I got off at midnight, I went to Kroger. I'm giving you a bunch of information you probably don't need. But anyway, I went to Kroger and bought a whole bunch of food. Because it was going to snow. It started snowing around midnight, and it didn't stop till Christmas Eve. But I went to the store, we bought a whole bunch of food, and my house was full, and I was off for 6 days. So when I heard about that stuff, I said, oh man, I know him. Oh wow, he had a heart attack, I can't believe it. Oh man, I know this family, and I'm just looking at this stuff. And I looked outside, and I thought, wow, I know these people, we should probably try to help. That's what I was thinking. I had good intentions. And it was really funny, because Harry and Linda don't know this, but I was thinking that day, well, you'd have to be crazy to be out in this stuff. And lo and behold, I just thought, well, I'm not going anywhere because no one's out in the streets and I'm not going anywhere. And all of a sudden, Linda's at our back door. She went through snow and all of that to give me deviled eggs and make sure we were okay. Harry's out in the car waving. I'm thinking, these people are Looney Tunes. I appreciated that they did it. I really appreciated that they did it. But if you understand the point, that was, Harry and Linda were used by God that day to show me, I need to get up and do something. I was just making excuses why no one should be out here, and God will understand there's a blizzard. No one's out. And then Harry and Linda show up. So there were people that were out. And I should have looked at that and said, you know what? That means I could do something. Because I could have made some calls. I could have done something, but I really didn't. And then afterwards, I felt guilty too. And about December 27th, I think it was, they ran a story in the paper on how the community had all banded together and helped that family, and we were nowhere to be found. And I knew that family. We could have done something. So see how I was right? I was looking at this lesson and I said, man, I was trying to find a time when I was like that. That was all me. And I don't have a good reason why I didn't do anything. I don't have a good reason. It was cold outside, I was on vacation, I was tired. Is that a good reason? No. That's not a good reason. I was like 38 at the time. That's really not a good reason. It's a bad, sorry excuse. I was thinking, I remember saying to Kim, Harry and Linda out in this stuff, what's wrong with them? But they came out. It was nice. So, but it was confirmation for me to understand that, here was an opportunity and I didn't do what I should have done, what my instincts were telling me, because I came up with every excuse I could think of. I even tried to I'm arguing with myself, mind you, in my head. I mean, nobody was making me do this. I'm arguing with my head, and I'm saying to myself, we help a lot of people, and normally I'm out there in the fight. But this one time, I wasn't. Now, God, who always seems to have a ram in the bush, oh yeah, that family got what they needed. But would he have wanted Medellin to do anything? Sure. Not to mention, at that time, I can't tell you, because you can remember the amount of clothes we had in this building. Tons of clothes we had. Back then, we had clothes, so many clothes. So here's a family that lost everything. We could give them a new wardrobe. We could do it from every decade, too. We have that many clothes. But the idea is, they got none of our clothes because we didn't do anything. And I don't fault the church. I actually fault me because I had a way in. I knew that. And from that point, I realized it's not an accident when those things happen. Sure, God got them what they needed, but it definitely taught me a lesson. And I looked at this lesson and took it to heart because I had to think, how many other opportunities did I miss because of me? I was in the way. My selfishness, because I didn't want to do something when I could have. I could have did that. It was a missed opportunity. So when we think about the story of the woman with an issue of blood, and we think about Jairus and this death, these people were drawn to God through tragedy. And it would be great, but today they can't physically go see Jesus. Nobody can physically go and see Jesus. But spiritually they can, through us. We, as Paul said, are the earthen vessels. We are the epistles that are read of men. We are what people are to get today to get that spiritual relationship with God. It's through us. He uses us for that. And so every single opportunity we need to seize, because people, just as these two were in need of help. We need to honor God with what he's given us, because he never expects us to do what we can't do. Just expects us to do what we can. And we should do that. That is what is part of the work of the ministry that Paul talks about in the edifying of the body. Because it is a good feeling to reach out and do that. And I have to share this with you before I close. I met a young man today at VBS named Keandre. He was 5 years old. And this little kid did not want to be here. He wanted his nana. She left. And how dare her? And he was just disturbed by it. And so I took him in the office and we were talking. And I learned some things about him. And for a 5-year-old, he knew too much about worldly stuff. Let me tell you what I mean. I asked him, where was his mom? And he did that. I said, do you know your mom? And he didn't know what I meant. Have you seen your mom? He told me he had a picture. I said, where's your dad? He said, he's in prison. Why does a 5-year-old know what prison is? A 5-year-old shouldn't know what prison is. But he said, my dad's in prison. I said, have you ever seen him? He said, once. He remembered that. But his entire life is wrapped around his grandmother. Because the mother is, who knows, and the father's in prison. And he knows about those things. He knows about drugs. How does a 5-year-old know about drugs? But this is the condition of the world that we have. I had a great time bonding with this little kid. And eventually he stopped crying and we drew pictures and we talked about Christmas and we did a whole bunch of stuff and we ate grapes and I got him. And he says he thinks he's going to come back tomorrow, he thinks. But the thing is, I looked at the condition. This is I don't think, uncommon in Sandusky. And this